Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Noah, and I'm going to make a quick video here about magnified optics in Airsoft. And mainly I'm going to be comparing a scope setup like this to a red dot magnifier combo, because a lot of you guys probably have seen video games or whatever. This is a cool setup. This is also a cool setup. It looks really good on the gun. And I want to talk about their function, because some of you guys might be wondering, for your sniper rifle or DMR, or even if you have a pretty accurate normal gun, if you need magnification, if you should have it, or if you should have something more like this. This is just a Bushnell micro dot I run on my M4. And the pros and cons, and I have a scale here to just show you, because weight actually makes a pretty big difference. So first off, I would have to say I've ran both of these a lot. I've ran this combo a lot more than the scope, but basically, if you're going to get a scope, I would go with something like this. This is a Simmons 22 mag 3-9, and the 3 power is usually what I'm running it on. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I did crank it up to 9 a few times just to identify, or sometimes if I was in a really good spot where I was taking consistent shots, I'd put it up to 5 or 6 or something. But keep in mind the exit pupil, or the eye relief, becomes more critical the more, basically it's harder to look through the scope the higher your magnification is. So I'd get something with 2, 3, maybe 4 power as the lowest if you're going to be airsofting, because any more your gun is probably not going to be that accurate at those ranges you'd be using it. But in terms of usability, I found just running this gun with this setup, or even with just the red dot, has gotten me the best results as far as actual gameplay goes, because with red dots I find sometimes, there's wind and stuff, you need to adjust it. That's why I originally wanted the magnified optics, because if there's wind, I thought that maybe I would be able to adjust to the wind better and have a holdover. But honestly, what's been most effective for me in the field anyway, this is semi-auto only DMR, is just running a red dot and the magnifier. Usually I'm just using the red dot, but if there's extreme ranges where I need to identify, I will use the magnifier too. But if you're just using a 1x optic, then you can go off the dot, like zero it when there's no wind, and then from there you can still see the BBs flying down the barrel, or not the barrel, but you can see where they're flying, so you can kind of adjust your shot a lot easier than in the scope. The scope, for me anyway, I feel a little bit disconnected from reality, and it didn't really work out as well. But I'll compare the weights too. The biggest downside to something like this, especially if you're running a big ass optic, this is a aim point right here, is the weight. This is a QD 0 resettable, so I found. And this, a bit harder to get off. There we go. It's tight. So here is just the aim point. If you're thinking about red dot weights, then this is important too. So battery, everything, 13 ounces. So this is a heavy red dot, but it's not going to break, kill flash, whatever. This is a Bushnell TRS 25, and it is much lighter, as you see here. Oops, 3.9 ounces. With the mount, it comes in at about 4.5 or so, with a 1-inch riser mount for M4 platform. And I use this on my CQB gun. And here is the magnifier. It's also about 13 ounces. So this combo right here is actually going to be adding a lot of weight to your gun. It's 26 ounces, so it's coming up to the 2-pound mark. In comparison, if you have an SPR mount like this on a lighter scope, which you don't need a heavier scope for Airsoft, this will work fine. This will work better than a clone, Leopold, or whatever, because it's also, the objective is set to 150 feet, so it'll be better on your eyes. This right here is only 18 ounces in comparison to this, so that's 1 pound 2 ounces, 2.7 ounces. These together are like 1 pound 10 ounces, so it's quite a bit heavier. And you could run a micro dot here, which will only add a few ounces, like 2 or 3 ounces, and that would be a very usable setup. The biggest downside I didn't like about this is if I wasn't in cover, I didn't feel comfortable sighting in while running, and it got me killed a few times. I was playing with my friend, and we were moving, we were flanking, and I didn't feel confident. I mean, maybe if you trained more or played with it more, you could, but I didn't feel confident sighting down my gun while I was on the move. It was more of a, once I get to cover, I can scout them out, and I just, thinking that this is not necessary. This is not almost even necessary, and this gun is shooting consistently. If I'm not running the best BBs, just like run-of-the-mill 3s or 3.2s, it can range pretty easily out to 300, 310 feet. But so it's shooting a long way, but it's still not warranted for something like this, really. Like, as much as it was cool, I don't think I'm gonna end up using it anymore. I'm gonna switch back to just running my aim point. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, one more thing I found, maybe just for me, but for me, the red dot is much easier to zero than the scope was. Like, the scope, I could get it shooting well, but scopes are weird. When you're looking at the BB going down the scope, I don't know if I could get you guys to see this, but if you're looking at the BB going down the scope, I feel like at times it can be hard to really tell where it's going. Like, it'll go up above the crosshair and down to the side a little bit, and even though you have more magnification, I feel like it is less intuitive for me anyway, and it's something you're gonna have to really use a lot and get used to where it's gonna go, because I found even when I zeroed it, like if I zero my red dot, I can get it really zeroed in when it comes to the horizontal adjustments, and I'll get it pretty zeroed into the vertical, but if you're adjusting your hop up and stuff, your vertical is always going to be different. So just for me, I think I'm going to stick with the red dot magnifier combo, and you can always take the magnifier off and just run the red dot like so. Okay, I like to have it one slot back from there. And then you're going to be saving, even with this is basically one of the heaviest red dots there is, you're still going to be saving weight compared to the this. But if you guys have any questions or comments, let me know, and let me know in the comment section down below. Hope you guys leave a like, subscribe. Peace out.